Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hi.
back to the Drive Away podcast with Baz and Jen. I'm Baz.
That's Jen.
Sure. And we just got out of seeing
Dead Man's Wire,
which was directed by Gus Van Sant, starring Bill Skarsgård, Dacre Montgomery, our beloved Colman Domingo,
our beloved
Cary Elwes. I believe her name is pronounced Myha'la. It might be Myha'la, but and who else? Al Pacino a little bit.
Who is he?
He was the dad. He was ML Hall.
Oh.
Yeah. So I guess I'll get it started. I was a big fan.
I like this movie.
I enjoyed it a lot.
This guy did Good Will Hunting.
He also did My Own Private Idaho, which is a great movie. But yeah, so it's based on a true story of this guy, Tony Kiritsis, who I guess takes a hostage of... He wanted to capture the guy that Al Pacino was playing, who is the owner of this, I guess, not mortgage company, but like, how do they describe it?
It's a loan company.
Yeah, a loan company, because he says that they screwed him over out of millions of dollars for this property that he had. So he takes the son, who is...
And now he's in debt.
Yeah. So he takes the son, played by Dacre Montgomery, who is also high up, because...
It's the president.
So starting off, this guy, like, 3 steps of his plan go wrong immediately. He had planned to take his own car to drive back to his apartment. His key breaks in the ignition as soon as he tries to shut his car off, to go into the building. There's a different receptionist woman there. And then ML Hall is not there, so he has to deal with Richard Hall, or Dick. And it's kind of a guy, like, failing upwards a little bit in some ways, because he very much is like, I want justice, I want an apology, I want, like, I want to, like, get what's mine back. I've seen a lot of people comparing it to Dog Day Afternoon, which is like surface level, sure. I think it's a different movie than that, though.
I agree completely.
But yeah, so I'm a big fan. I must get it out of the way. More of Colman Domingo.
More.
I know I say this every time. Colman Domingo is dare I say, the best actor working right now. Dare I say?
I don't know that I would say that, but I would say he's up there. He's a top 5 for sure.
And I think he played a great role in this. I was fascinated. He has an incredible
Were I
voice.
to ever sound like a man, he's the new Morgan Freeman, but way cooler.
He plays a radio DJ in this named Fred
Temple.
Fred Temple, thank you. Who Tony Kiritsis is a big fan of. And so that's how he kind of gets wrapped up in this whole thing. And there's like, Tony will talk to Fred because Fred is there to listen and is not part of law enforcement. But of course, he reports this to law enforcement. And I thought that Fred might have had a little bit more involvement at some point, because at one point the cops who were working on it were like, well, if he'll talk to Fred, then like we'll let him talk to Fred. But I mean, I guess there's only so much you can do with a based on a true story thing. Of like, you can only have Fred be as involved as Fred actually was. But yeah, big fan. He was fantastic as usual, Colman.
Bill Skarsgård was also fucking incredible.
Acting across the board, very well done. I was a big fan of the editing in this too, because it cut a lot of it takes place
camera footage
in the 70s, so it cut to a lot of mimicking news camera footage,
all tape reels.
And I liked how it was edited to kind of cut around to these different perspectives, and sometimes we just
things
see
that were like the famous photos taken.
Yes.
Like they recreated the photos that are associated with the case and like stuck them in there as they were happening during the frame. Then we'd hold on it, and then we cut back to real life. Kinda neat.
Big fan of the editing, big fan of the direction in this. And Yes.
I like how tightly wound this film is.
Yes.
It's very like, because the whole conceit of it is that there's a wire around Dick's neck.
It's a dead man
that
switch,
if he
essentially,
moves, a shotgun will blow his head off. And the movie itself is very like wrapped up, and like we keep holding. And this is an example of where long takes are good. There aren't a lot of them, but they like when we get one, it's like kind of, it's really getting you into Tony's head and like the whole frenzy and ferocity and kind of like the anger. And even though he's objectively doing like really terrible shit, it's like it does a really good job of making you sympathize with Tony, and like very much a good job of like, yeah, he's holding a guy hostage, but it's
also very interesting with how much they show Tony being like, I only have issues with like this company, this family who's doing, not even the family, like the two guys, ML Hall and Richard Hall, or Dick Hall. And he's like, I mean, I don't endorse this belief personally, but he's like, oh, you know, like, I like the police. I'm going to steal this cop car, but like, I'm not going to like take it. You guys can have it back. I just need a car to get to my apartment. And like, he's not necessarily malicious to anyone except for Richard and ML, which is portrayed as like an understandable maliciousness. And I mean, spoiler alert, but like this was a real thing that, I mean, I hadn't heard about this until this.
I did.
Spoiler alert, he's proven not guilty based on insanity. And it's like, was he guilty? Yeah. For sure.
But they signed papers for his immunity.
No, I know. That's well, I think the papers weren't actually saying that. His brother Jimmy told him that it was okay.
Yeah.
And I think what it was that the paper said something different, but Jimmy was like, yeah, no, it's all good. And like not sold him out, but like essentially
let him get arrested.
Yes, let him get arrested. And that. And another thing I liked too was that it was all very realistic. There were also some shots of like random characters watching the news. I shouldn't even say characters, random people watching the news. We never heard from them or anything, but it just felt very realistic and very lived in, almost as if we were watching the broadcast itself.
And the people slowly realizing they're kind of siding with him as well.
And the only like non-grounded thing was Dick had a dream when he was in Tony's bathtub when he fell asleep that
Dick did have a dream.
With Bill Skarsgård covered in blood and screaming.
On MLK Jr.
Jennifer.
Dick had a dream.
A nightmare. But like, and I'm okay with that. Dacre Montgomery, fantastic performance as well. He wasn't sniveling at all, but like very stoic, but clearly like breaking down.
He also did a good job of playing the pleasing customer service high. Yes. Like that was so believable, and then the slow, the rapid descent into like, hey man, we don't have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then the slow acceptance.
And then he finally breaks. Yeah. When they're going out for the press conference, and he's like, that's when he finally lets it go. But then, because he also wants to uphold the family reputation, the company reputation.
It's gonna get shot on the fucking ad if he doesn't.
Because no. He obviously he doesn't want to get shot in the head, but his dad is the owner of the company and also kind of a shit dad.
He's like, I don't care, blow his head off. Yeah, I'll mourn my son.
I'll mourn my son, but like
I've got others.
I'll mourn my son, but you know, we can't do this for the company. And so he's not only trying to get himself out of that situation, but also he doesn't want to be made a fool of on national television with like reading the agreement from the loan company, or also just like going out in front of the camera in the state that he's in. again, yeah, just fantastic performances all around. Bill's got a funny accent going on. Not funny, but it's just... he's very unique.
I'm pretty sure the real life case also is one of the first for like hostage negotiation to really be like a widespread thing. Like cops weren't trained in that.
Mm-hmm.
Only the bearded cop guy who drove the Mustang.
The sheriff. I think he was the
sheriff. Like special guy, the one
Cary Elwes.
Cary Elwes, yeah. He had been trained on it at like a week-long FBI seminar because he was bored and thought it looked interesting. That he was the only one, I think, to have received any training like that. So this kind of it set the precedent for a little more awareness. I'm pretty sure, I might be totally lying out of my ass right now, but I'm pretty sure it was this case.
But yeah,
historical background, hairy leg type shit.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the secret agent. But yeah, big fan of this. It was tense, but not like on the edge of my seat. Like it's just, like you said earlier, it's very tightly wound. And you kind of know where it's heading, but there is also that level of unpredictability that I think Bill Skarsgård plays really well as Tony, of just like, he wants what he wants, and like, you know, he's got a shotgun at Dick's head. And it could blow if a wrong move happens. But like, you can also kind of tell that he wants to do it, but he also doesn't. Like, it's a very layered performance from him, and like he just knocks it out of the park like he does in everything. I like his mustache. Lots of good facial hair in this movie. Yeah, I'm biased for sure, but like, the scenes with Bill Skarsgård and Colman Domingo were my favorites.
Yeah, I agree.
Even at the press conference when he's like, well, where's Fred? And then Fred shows up and he's very
dismissive,
even-keeled and stoic. Yeah. He's not even dismissive. He's just like, yeah, all right. He's not really answering the questions. He's just acknowledging without giving anything, an opinion to be shared at all. Very good performance by Colman Domingo. I'll say it again.
Yeah, there's lots of like nuance and layers and like packed in pieces of the performances. That I think everybody does really well. I agree. The core cast, and like
even the newscaster Linda, who I would say she's I think it was important to have a newscaster character in this. I would say she's not the weakest, but like she's given the least amount to do.
Yeah, she has a couple scenes where we get to know that like, oh, she wants to be primetime, but she's, you know, the studio doesn't support her because she's new, and then she goes for it anyway.
She's kind of like April O'Neil.
Yeah, we have that arc right at the beginning, and then it's solid. She's just like, is the one documenting the whole thing.
Yeah. And it's nice to have a character like that, especially when all the editing happens with like the quote-unquote news footage.
I just would have rather we got more of her outside of news reporting clips.
I agree.
Later on in the film, or less of her doing that, like, you know, either
kind of even it out a bit
or add them in. I don't care which, but
yeah. But again, a good performance still. She just doesn't have quite as much to do.
Yeah.
Because she's also the only characters she really interacts with are her camera guy and then her boss at the news station. She obviously does the like news reporter thing of like asking questions to the cops and whatever, but like she doesn't really get a lot of one-on-one character action, which would have been nice, but I'm not too picky about. I just think it stands out that she's kind of like the only person to not get that. But yeah, like all around, like very solid. Acting, directing, editing, the script I liked too. Cinematography was fun.
What do you think about the score?
The score was good. I liked it. I It was, I laughed. I saw the credits. Apparently Danny Elfman did it. Which I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, it did not feel very Elfman-y.
But you know what? Good for him.
I liked a good chunk of it. I wish they did, like, they were a little more creative with it.
Sure.
Like, he loves a jazz DJ in the morning, so give us some kind of jazzy stuff.
It did feel a bit of like, okay, we're doing a 70s period piece.
Yeah, it felt like it felt a little generic as far as I'm concerned.
Dude, just sped past me.
And I love my Damien Chazelle films with jazz scores. Give me more of that.
Not even jazz necessarily.
Yeah,
it's like a funk radio.
They should
like he's playing Roberta Flack.
They should build like the scores off the
soundtrack,
the soundtrack off the radio.
I agree.
Because the radio guy is so important to Tony.
Yes. And I mean, again, for that same standpoint, more of Colman Domingo's character. But again, when you're working with, like, based on a true story, it's tough to add in more that would be removing it from the true story.
Yeah. I don't like that we never saw Tony and his brother talk ever until the press conference at the very, like, he makes one phone call leading up to the press conference, and it wasn't like it.
I mean, that may have happened in real life, though.
No, but that was like the way they were talking. It did not at all seem like that was their first conversation, and they brought him there to go talk to his brother.
Oh, sure, I see.
So,
what you mean.
we never saw their first conversation. We're not introduced to the brother until I think after already he's spoken to Tony and he's getting interviewed. Like, I would have liked to see that conversation. I think that, and I imagine it got shot and cut because, like, you could remove his brother and the film doesn't really change. Obviously, like, it's a real life thing that he was there, but, like, let's see.
Especially when it's such a crucial thing of the brother
betraying him.
Yeah. And making sure that he gets arrested.
Like, that should really be, shown, set up, even though, like, it's going there.
Yeah.
That bugged me.
I will say, though, with the editing, not necessarily the editing, I guess with the story, after he signs the papers and Dacre Montgomery gets let go, he shoots the shotgun into the air. And I jumped because it's finally that release of...
It's the biggest fucking Chekhov's gun ever in the history of cinema.
And literal Chekhov's gun. Where... Sorry, I need to move over. Literal Chekhov's gun where it finally goes off and he's not aiming it at anyone, but I'm just like, oh my God, the sudden noise of it.
Yeah.
And then he
gets... You've been sitting on the edge of your seat for 90, 100, I don't know how long this movie was, minutes, and waiting for a gunshot.
Yeah.
And everyone in the audience is sat there, and the film audience is sat there waiting for the gunshot, and the gunshot happens, then fucking panic ensues. And I think that the film played, like, the press conference scene, I think, is my favorite because it does a really, really fantastic job of, like, building up and layering and layering.
For sure.
And, like,
I'm like, when he's asking for water and shit.
And the stakes, and then it's, like, the power trip of it, and I think they did a really good job.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, Baz. Letterboxd review. Or rating.
In my heart and soul, I think I liked it enough for a 4.5. I really enjoyed watching it. I gave it a 4 and a like. Just because it didn't, like, totally blow me away, but it's a very solid viewing experience that I really enjoyed.
Lots of fun.
Yes.
I give it 4 stars as well. And a like.
My TLDR is always more Colman Domingo. Put him in everything. I don't care.
We're day one Colman Domingo fans.
That's Victor Strand from Fear the Walking Dead, as far as I'm concerned, okay? And I didn't even finish that show.
I never finished that show either.
I got 3.5 seasons.
They made him the villain. I said, not my Colman Domingo.
I'm sure he did a great job at it, though.
Okay, Baz.
Alrighty, bye.
Bye.